very big sport in Argentina. They produce a lot of great champions, and the country is just populated by a great deal of young men who wish to become like this man, Carlos Monzon.
We're in round 3. It's scheduled for 15. And from Monte Carlo, this is Bob Halloran along with Dr. Ferdy Pacheco, the fight doctor, the veteran of many, many ring wars, working in the corner of Ali. Pacheco has a good right hand there thrown by Valdez, catching the right side of the face of the champion.
Another good right hand by Rodrigo Valdez. And he keeps throwing it as if to say, let me see, how did I do that, and knock him down? And he never quite lands flush on the face again, because you don't catch a great champion like Carlos Monzon making the same mistake twice.
Less than 30 seconds now remaining in round 3. It was round 2, the previous round, that Monzon went down from a punch like that. Only the one he threw in round 2 landed. That one just grazed the side of Monzon's face.
But you got to admire Valdez's grittiness. He's right in there. I mean, he took the last round big, and he thinks he can take this round, and he has taken this round.
We're counting down now, less than 10 seconds, and as the champion flares back and tries to get even here in this fight. Well, the referee, Roland Dakin, calls the two fighters to the center of the ring as the bell sounds, and we are into round 4 from Monte Carlo. 13 consecutive title defenses by the man on the right of your screen, the champion of the world, the middleweight champion, who has also won 18 straight. Good left hook under the chin, a sort of an uppercut, Ferdy, that caught Valdez coming in.
That's exactly what it was. He repeated a lot of jabs, and just as he had him bent over, he came up with a left uppercut. It was a thing of beauty. Monzon's jab's a thing of beauty. I mean, any young kid watching this fight has got to understand that the jab is what makes a great champion and what makes the other punches work. You just have to watch this man. A few rounds of watching Monzon, and you're convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that the left jab is what makes a great champion and what makes a fighter successful. Look at Valdez pressuring, though. He comes right through the jab and continues to pressure Monzon, fighting deep inside, fighting hard inside, 3, 4, 5 punches at a time. That's not up to in the favor of Monzon. Monzon likes to stand away, use his height, use his advantage, jab, keep him off balance as he's doing now, landing occasional right hands. But there's Valdez, gets inside, 3, 4, 5 punches. Valdez is fighting very, very well.
You know, Ferdy reminds me of a lighter weight Joe Frazier, the way he just pursues you and bears in on you and does not allow you any breathing room at all. Here he comes in, a good left hook. Of course, that devastating right hand that put Monzon down in the second round. And we are in round 4, reaching about the midway point.
You can see what happens to you when you relax a minute. Valdez started to come in and then just sort of eased off, realizing he couldn't punch, and he got punched 6 or 7 times in a row by Monzon. Monzon now hitting almost at will, as Valdez is willing to pay the price to come in to the territory he needs inside. He's taking an awful shellacking trying to come in.
Well, a good right hand and a left cross to the chin of the champion Monzon. He's in the black trunks with a red stripe. Valdez, the challenger, in the white trunks. Once again, Roland Dakin not working too hard. These guys have been around, between them, some 170 fights.
And if you're wondering what all that writing is about, in Europe, you're allowed to sell advertising space on your trunks. And they do that. You see that the front of both fighters' trunks are covered with writing. You cannot do that in the United States.
Less than 30 seconds remaining in round 4. Scheduled for 15. 1 knockdown thus far, Monzon being sent to the canvas by the challenger Valdez in round 2. But Monzon up quickly and apparently fully recovered, being given a little warning by the referee. Keep your punches up a little bit. Now Monzon tying him on, and Valdez trying to throw him back, and that's the end of round 4. Look at the champion as he prepares to come out and face his challenger for round 5 from Monte Carlo, and he leads off the round connecting with a right cross to the chin, and then repeated jabs keeping the challenger off balance. A jab, another one.
The fight relatively even now, as Monzon has taken the best that Valdez had to offer, taking his charge, and is now making him pay the price, and now he's taking advantage. He is becoming the aggressor, and Valdez fights going back, which is not as good for him as the previous 2 rounds when he was coming forward, although he was taking a terrific beating as he was coming in. Just hang in at long range with Monzon with those long arms, and you find yourself getting hit by punches that seem to come from outer space. He has such long arms. It's an incredible experience to face Monzon in the ring. He's much, much faster than it looks on the screen.
Well, those long arms coupled with that height advantage, distinct height advantage, as you can see from Monzon, the champion, certainly to his advantage.
And his perfect conditioning. I don't think I've ever seen Carlos Monzon, and I've seen him dozens of times, come into a fight without being perfectly conditioned. He doesn't seem to have an ounce of flab on him. He has this thin, muscular body, like a tight coil spring, and he lets it fly from all angles. He's willing to fight 3 minutes of every round. There's Gil Clancy, little look of worry. Chino Govin, Howie Albert, the usual championship corner of Gil Clancy, who is more than anxious to win the title, more than anxious to finish the career of Carlos Monzon if he can, but it's easier said than done. Valdez back to the attack.
Well, his biggest weapon thus far, the one he knocked him down, Monzon down with, is that right hand. He just sometimes even leads with it, and you'd think that on a great champion like Monzon, he wouldn't get caught with a right lead, but there's a vicious left that circles around and misses.
Well, obviously, it's to Valdez's advantage to stand toe-to-toe with Monzon, if he will, but Monzon won't. Look at the way he uses that jab. He just keeps him off. It's almost sword fighting. It's almost a rapier-like thrust.
And the bell about to sound. There it is for round 5. We're back in Monte Carlo, where the world's middleweight title is being contested. And there is a look at the challenger, Rodrigo Valdez. He knocked the champion Monzon down in round 2. But since then, rounds 4, 5, and just moments ago, round 6, all belonging to the champion Monzon as we get ready for the start of round 7. And there's the bell, and away we go.
Gil Clancy working in the corner had the sad obligation of working with Emil Griffith on this night. He lost his fight to Alan Minter and retired after a long and illustrious career. So now here he is, the end of one career, the beginning of another. He wants to get that middleweight championship back. Gil Clancy has a championship habit, and Rodrigo Valdez wants to get it back for him. Would like to be another Emil Griffin for Gil Clancy, but he's got one little problem in front of him, and that problem is Carlos Monzon, who has been coming on in the last 2 rounds. His jab cooking, everything working for Monzon. Nothing working for Rodrigo Valdez as it had in the first 2 or 3 rounds. Oh, that overhand right, he almost put it on. I think he bloodied the nose of Carlos Monzon. Is that a little bit of blood I see there?
Well, it could be. It was a tremendous right, and that's what he's been scoring all his. That's what he knocked him down with in the 2nd round as they get separated. And perhaps a little frustration as the challenger puts his gloves apart and has a little facial expression for the referee, Roland Dakin.
Oh, he just said to the Bacon, I couldn't help it. I didn't mean to hit him low. And there's that jab. Piston-like, machine-like, discouragingly, like rainwater pity-pattying away on your forehead. It just doesn't seem to stop all night. Already it looks like there's swelling under both eyes of Rodrigo Valdez.
Less than a minute here in round 7. It's coming from Monte Carlo. Remember, Valdez has been around. He's a former WBC champion. That's him in the white trunks.
No marks on the handsome face of Carlos Monzon.
I want to tell you, he brings that right. You got to keep watching that right of Valdez because he's been very effective with it. And referee Roland Dakin warning the champion Monzon about grabbing with his glove, grabbing the head of the challenger. As we move under 30 seconds in round 7.
I wonder what goes through a fighter's mind when the referee talks to him in English and he can only speak Spanish.
Well, I think that's why he does a demonstration. Valdez coming in, walks into a right uppercut, but then counter punches as the bell is about to sound for round 7. Well, the bell for round 8, and both fighters up early off their stools, ready to go back to work, Ferdy.
Gil Clancy was gesticulating wildly at Monzon to double, triple up on the hooks because he cannot out-jab Monzon, but he might be able to hook him. And he has been trying that. He's been trying that sweeping right hand. Sometimes it lands, sometimes it doesn't. He hasn't mounted a difficult or hard body attack, Valdez has to go to the body of Monzon if he hopes to short-circuit that mobility and sap his strength so that his punches don't come on. But look at the way Monzon is fighting.
Well, you know, Valdez set him up for that knockdown. There's a good right.